What is happening to Dogecoin? What's happening with the Doge token? Why isn't it going up anymore? It seems like the rally that happened 2 weeks ago is pretty much flat. Nothing happened in the last week. Is there more upside potential? Let's have a look at some data points most people aren't considering. Let's go beyond the price action. So here's Dogecoin in the grand scheme of things. Here's Dogecoin relative to other meme coins. It's the largest in the category with 59 billion in market cap. Shiba Inu is only 1/4 of the size. Pepe is 1/7 of the size, and Bonk 1/20 roughly, together with Dog with Head. So it's really the juggernaut of meme coins. And so this is what happened in the last 3 months. It went from roughly 10 cents to currently 40 cents. And a lot of that rally is of course due to the support by Elon Musk that gets in turn supported by the new president Donald Trump, who's very pro crypto. Now Dogecoin is one of the first tokens people buy when they just enter crypto and they want to find out how can I get exposure besides just Bitcoin, and I want to get some upside potential. The problem is crypto is a very dangerous place, and if you simply just search for Dogecoin on a page like dexscreener.com, you might get the wrong token. For example, over here is a Doge to wrapped Ethereum token. It's called Dogecoin, but it's not 40 cents. It's 0.00045 cents, and it's not up today, but it's down by 17%. Now have a look at this other Dogecoin. The price has 7 zeros and then 6808 with a liquidity of $44,000 only. There's a lot of different Dogecoins. None of them are the correct Dogecoin. The way to get the correct Dogecoin is to simply buy this in a centralized exchange like Binance. But if you want to buy this on-chain, the most straightforward way is to go to coinmarketcap.com. So on CoinMarketCap, you find the actual token address. Here's the contract address. And the best way is to copy that contract address and to buy using that contract address. Now what we see here as well is an Explorer link, and that is a link to BSC scan. So this is a token on the Binance Smart Chain. So instead of searching for Dogecoin, it's much better to search for the actual token address. This is how you not get scammed. And again, we can see here by this logo that this is on the BSC, on the Binance Smart Chain. This is where Doge can be bought outside of the centralized exchanges. So this is a ported version of Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is its own blockchain, right? So to buy that supply directly, the real Dogecoin, not the ported version, the centralized exchanges are the only options. Still, it's always interesting to look at the few on-chain metrics that we have. For example, over here, this is the number of buyers versus sellers today. And even though we are up only 0.2%, we actually saw more sellers than buyers. So the buyers tend to buy with higher amounts than the sellers sell with. And so on-chain, we've got more than 850,000 holders. That's on the Binance Smart Chain. And of course, not all of those people bought the token directly. There was an airdrop as well. Still, we can have a look at the number of holders over time. And here's what's so interesting. This rally started roughly at the beginning of October of this year, right? It accelerated, but it started at the beginning of October. So somehow the market cap 4x'd during this time period. But have a look at the number of retail investors, medium-sized investors, and whale investors since the beginning of October of this year. So here's that data point, right? Those are very long-term charts. The number of retail investors actually went slightly down. The same is true for the number of wallets in the medium-sized category. And the same is also true for the number of whale wallets. Not really a lot of growth here. Now, the way this distinction is made is by minimum holding thresholds. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets with 2,000 tokens. In the middle, it's 20,000 tokens. And on the right, it's 200,000 tokens. And so at the current price, those thresholds are $800, $8,000, $80,000. But interestingly enough, there is a metric that is spiking, and that's the number of token transactions. Again, a very long-term chart. And again, we can see those waves of attention. Sometimes there's a lot of attention on Doge, and sometimes it tends to slow down. And there seems to be almost a predictable pattern here, as in those rallies happen maybe once a year or so. This is actually a very typical behavior for the meme coin market. Attention moves from token to token. Today it's at Dogecoin, tomorrow it's at Bonk, the day after tomorrow it's maybe at the Degen token. Have a look at this comparison here. We are seeing here the token trading volume. On the left side is the Degen token, in the middle is Dogecoin, and on the right is Bonk. And we can clearly see again those waves of attention, right? A lot of attention for Degen in March of this year, and then a second wave in November November of this year. But for Bonk, that wave of attention was in December of last year and is now just recently picking up again. So those waves aren't necessarily overlaying with one another. And so have a look at the cumulative users over time. Of course, a lot of new users recently for Dogecoin, and we're seeing how Bonk starts to pick up again. It's not yet at the level where Doge is, but it's starting, and we see that Degen is still sleeping somewhat. And so there's literally three ways to play the game. Either we bet on the currently starting rally to continue, or we hope that a new rally will start for Degen, or we hope that the current rally in Doge will simply continue and more people will jump on. Now, I'm publishing videos on Doge regularly on this channel, so if you don't want to miss the next videos, feel free to subscribe, potentially even hit the notification bell, because sometimes the YouTube algorithm isn't really that efficient in recommending crypto content when crypto isn't that popular at the time. Now we see those waves of attention not just in the trading volume, we also see this in relative valuation charts. What we have got over here is the Doge dominance. So how much of the entire cryptocurrency market cap is in Dogecoin? And it appears as if recently we are in somewhat of a trading range. It's not a perfect trading range because those bottoms over here don't really align perfectly, but the current tops tend to be aligning somewhat. This is not necessarily a top that's obvious when looking at the US dollar chart, but when looking at the Dogecoin dominance chart, when we look at the relative standing of Dogecoin in all of crypto, this is a somewhat predictable top. Now here's another very fascinating chart. This is Dogecoin relative to Bitcoin long term. And there is some pattern that I think cannot just be coincidence, because it seems like those tops over here, they tend to be lower over time. And we can somewhat connect those tops, of course not perfectly, but when we take this line and we overlay this to our current price action, there is again somewhat of a resemblance here. Again, I'm not saying that Dogecoin has to top here, but it's definitely comparatively heated to times where simply are just very silent. Now here's a very interesting recent development. You very likely do not have access to this kind of chart. This here shows how much advertisers on my YouTube channel pay for 1,000 views of their ads. And it suddenly, out of nothing, spiked to roughly double of what it used to be. In other words, crypto projects, centralized exchanges, etc., they are now competing for advertising space in the crypto scene. And it's not just money that's flowing into advertising for crypto, there's also simply fiat money that's flowing into the space as a whole. The stablecoin market cap tends to rise, and it's recently even accelerating. So since October of last year, we see money flowing into crypto again. That of course causes a lot of crypto asset prices to go up. And especially in the recent days, since beginning of the month, we also see the altcoins going up in aggregate. So what we have over here is the others dominance. This is how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10. That went up by roughly 20% in the last month. And so pretty much everything is now going up. The art in crypto trading though is to buy early, right? It's to buy when the prices are still low. So for example, over here, the Chill Guy token, it's now at 50 cents. But I made a video on Chill Guy when it was still at 20 cents. And I hope a lot of you made money with that video because it was a quite popular one. And so this is the real art, right? We have to get into tokens when momentum is bullish and when there's still enough upside potential. And so this is what this channel is all about, right? It's about discussing tokens that a lot of people don't yet have on their radar. So feel free to subscribe. Now, how can I find tokens like Chill Guy early? Or how can I find things like the GOAT token or the ACT token early? Those are one of the largest Pump.fun ecosystem tokens. This is a wallet tracking alert. How Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token for 14 cents. That was over here. Since then, the price went up by more than 500%. Temporarily, it was up by more than 800%. Who's Kyle Chessy? It's this influencer over here. He's got 137,000 subscribers and he tends to be relatively early on trending tokens. And so here is how that works. We use on-chain analytics again to figure out who is owning what wallet. It's not a very easy task, but we've got an entire community that just focuses on that single task. Find wallets that are very useful, of insiders, of top traders, of influencers. Let's find those wallets and then track them. So over here, we've got the wallets that we track by Kyle Chessy. We've got 12 in total. Well, let's talk about the ACT token. Here's our signal for ACT. Crypto benchmark Banter bought the ACT token at 3.7 cents. Now it's at 58 cents. So an increase of 1,500% since that signal. And of course, temporarily, the gain was even higher, more than 2,000%. Now, where do crazy gains like this come from? They come from attention. They come from a lot of eyeballs getting into one single token. And so here are those eyeballs. This is the Crypto Banter channel. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about the token, of course the token has to go up. And so we've got 33 of Crypto Banter's wallets. And so really, I think this is the better approach compared to just drawing random lines on price charts. I think it's better to follow the smart money. It's better to follow the insiders. It's better to simply copy trade the people that tend to make money in crypto. And I like this approach that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course just on this. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we track those wallets? And how can we subsequently also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's 8 videos in total. It's all part of Premium. So that's down below, thebitcoinstrade.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics, right? The charts that we looked at today in this video. It's also about portfolio diversification, risk management, indicator backtesting. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total. Once we get our wallet signals, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to compare the on-chain analytics. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, in case you don't learn anything, simply just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so, does it still make sense to buy Dogecoin at the current levels at roughly 40 cents? The US dollar valuation is likely going to continue to go up as the crypto market itself is expanding. Will Dogecoin though outperform the rest of the crypto market? I'm not so sure, right? Because short-term attention is high and there is a correlation between attention and price. In other words, it makes sense to buy whatever asset it is, but also including Dogecoin. It makes sense to buy an asset when nobody is looking. It makes sense to buy when attention is low. Buying Dogecoin when nobody talks about it, buying Bitcoin when everybody doubts it makes sense. Buying it when it's already very high can also make sense when the overall market is going up, but definitely the risk to reward isn't that great anymore than it just used to be a few months ago. There are several ways to mitigate risk here, right? One could simply set a stop loss, or one could dollar cost average and hold over the very, very long term, hoping for the next rally, or simply buy something that hasn't rallied as much yet. For example, the Doge token. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in Premium. Cheers.